Good morning, guys. It's been a while since I made a video like this, but when it come down to it, this is the real core of real talk with Greg, your go-to guy. Lately, I've been in the studio with D Coop, and we've been making various videos about a bunch of different topics, which we know they are important for our community, and we're going to continue doing that. But this morning, I had a desire to do something a little different and kind of get back to the core and what this channel was created to do. And that's to make sure that we push wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and information as well. So this morning I'm gonna get back to it. I just kind of want to talk about a book that well, it was a question that was asked to me from a person, and they asked me, "Well, Greg, how are you being able to pull off all these things that you're doing now? That you're doing with the business, that you're doing with the show, and bringing people together and unifying people to where we can pull off the things that we're doing because we're actually bringing this company that we're involved with all the way from Franklin, Louisiana, all the way to Houston." And that was the question, how am I pulling that off? Well, I'm pulling it off because I know how to let God lead me. I'm nobody, I'm nothing, I'm not smart enough to pull this off on my own. That's why the word says, lean not to your own understanding. And so I really get that, right? So if I lean to my own understanding, then I'm going to keep myself limited. And I don't want to be limited. I want the sky to be the limit. So if I want the sky to be the limit, I have to have vision from the sky. So that's my purpose here. And I just kind of want to share some stuff with you guys this morning. The question was how I'm able to pull these things off. Well, a lot of people know in the last, 3 to 4 years, I've been going through a lot of turmoil, starting from, actually we started longer than that, but we're going to say, it really stuff kind of hit the fan, 2020. And I kind of got knocked all the way down, and I'm grateful for that because that's when you lay on your back and God get to talk to you in an amazing ways and tell you some of the things that you need to do moving forward. Does it feel good? Absolutely not. Is there suffering? Yes, it is. But there is victory in suffering, right? So the question was, well, how are you pulling this stuff off that you're doing today, right? Well, one thing that I do is I read this book, right? In the morning time, a good friend of mine gave this to me. I hope you can see it. Dr. Charles Stanley. He's really the only pastor that I pay attention to. I trust him. He's deceased now. He's been gone now probably, I want to say a little bit over a year now. And I wasn't too long. Went to Atlanta and I visited the church that he used to pastor, and it was everything that I thought it would be. And I'm grateful for that. Thing I wanted to do was just kind of talk about how am I able to pull off, you know, uh, being at the head of this corporation with all the different facets going on. Well, one thing that sticks out to me is the fact that I have a desire to unify people. But I believe the problem was with me in all the years prior leading up to now, I always tried to bring people into my vision that didn't belong there. And so now I'm learning that you get people that fit. If you have to force it, it doesn't work, right? You can have a desire to make a rectangular shape fit into a circle all day long. But if it's not designed to fit there, it's not going to fit. In other words, everybody is not intended to be on your journey, right? When you go back and reference the word, when the Lord told Abraham to leave your father's house, I went and I studied that because, some of the decisions that I had to make, they wasn't normal. They wasn't my norm. And it bothered me. And so when something like that bothered me, I go to the scripture, I go to the word and allow the word to help me make these decisions and to let me know if I'm making the right decision. And, when I studied that and he said that told Abraham to leave his father's house. In other words, leave the people that's not for you. Move yourself out of the equation when people are dragging you down, when people are not for you, when people um, they have some type of disdain for you in their hearts. Now, in your face, they're gonna, they'll talk to you. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. McClinton, or whatever term they use for you. But they're not always for you, right? And so your spirit really can have a discernment that picks that energy up. And if you not aware of it or allow that discernment to speak to your spirit, then you can be caught up in something for a very long time. So I just thank God that He finally opened up my eyes and got me to stop operating in my feelings and operate in purpose, which is not easy, trust me, because you have to make decisions that's not always just easy to make, right? But after that, I started to prosper and move in a direction, and I feel good today. I don't feel like I don't feel weighed down by a bunch of unnecessary traffic, so to speak. So I just kind of want to share that with you guys this morning. That's what this channel is about. We got some real good stuff coming up. I'm gonna talk about that later. I don't want to get, sidetracked on what I was talking about. But in this book that I read every morning, Dr. Charles Stanley give me instructions to go about my day. Of course, with this in the Bible, I read that and try, to keep my mind in order and to keep moving forward. I'm gonna read Victory Over Sin. All right. Victory over sin could be a lot of things. When you say the word sin, it's a lot fit up under the umbrella of sin. A lot, lying, disdain for another, jealousy, hatred, stealing. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff that falls under that. Being toxic. Um, it's just so much, right? I might talk about it a little bit more, but I just didn't want to throw that word sin out there because most people, when they hear that word sin, they think about doing wrong, but it's a lot that falls up under doing wrong, right? And we all are sinners, and so it's going to happen. It's not like we're going to ever be perfect here, but we can at least identify what those things are. And when we do, what it'll do for us is it causes us to be stronger. It causes us to be confident. It causes us to make strong decisions. Because in our spirit, unless you a narcissistic person or somebody in that nature to where you don't have a conscience. But if you do have a conscience, it's something that's gonna just mess with your spirit when you do somebody wrong or you do something unruly to somebody or hurt somebody intentionally, right? So I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read through it, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about and expound on it a little bit more. But all of this talk this morning is rolling off of somebody asking me, how do I do what I do? I don't know if you guys that's looking at me right now, pay attention to our YouTube channel, Real Talk with Greg, the go-to guy. If you look at my Facebook page, or if you look at DQ's page, my co-host on Real Talk. But one thing that I wanted to make sure we did and that we do is that we make sure that we give information, wisdom, and knowledge on this channel. All right. So we're never going to bring you some garbage, some stuff that, that we won't be proud of later. And we do know that our children look at this too. So we never going to bring nothing to this channel that we won't be proud. The fact that our children are looking at it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read through this right here. And I hope you guys follow along with me. It's powerful. The title to this one is Victory Over Sin. It says, God will never allow temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out. That was from Corinthians 10:11 NLT. Do you realize the victory you have because of Jesus? As a believer, you have everything necessary to tramp over sin. How do you do this is the question. First, admit when something is a temptation and acknowledge that God can free you from it. When you're willing to accept your vulnerability and choose to depend on the Lord, you've taken an important step. Look at the big picture. Ask yourself, how would this affect my future? Will it distract me from God's will? Finally, recall the Father's promises and set your mind on what honors him. Temptations are often powerful because they play into our anxieties. Don't allow disappointment and setbacks to lead you to sin. Trust that God can and will fulfill his word to you. When you feel the lure of sin, conquer it by seeking the Savior. It won't be easy, and sometimes deliverance will take time, but always seek and honor him, and he will certainly teach you how to overcome. I had to move, guys. The sun was coming up behind me, so I didn't want it to be glaring out in the camera, but yeah, so I hope that answered the question. I have some more things that I could talk about, but I just kind of want to put this together this morning real quickly before I went off to work, and that's how I do it. I spend my time loving on myself more than I ever have in my lifetime, and I don't allow anything to come into my circle that can hinder me. And some people are just not for you. You know, even the people that I believe really don't have much love for me, that's fine, right? But I'm not gonna let that harden my heart. I just so happen to have a different way of thinking and a way of doing things, and it works. I believe it's God's will, and I just rather spend my life, doing something that's gonna be fruitful, for somebody, the people that's coming behind me, and the people that don't understand that and don't want to get in coordinates with that. It's okay, because we get to do whatever we want to do with our lives, and so do I. But I just wanted to answer that question. A young man asked me, man, how do you do what you're doing? When they looking at all the different things that I'm putting together today. And I just kind of want to answer his question via video, and something that he can probably go back and look at, like pick something off, off of it, right? And that's what I did. So, guys, appreciate you checking this out. I don't know if it's going to be a long video or a short one, but stay tuned. Real Talk with Greg, your go-to guy. It's another production that I work on kind of often. It's for mature people. When I say mature, that mature don't have nothing to do with age. It can be for young, old, whatever, right? Any ethnicity. But when I say mature people, people that want to, do something outside the box and don't just be caught into this, what I call modern day slavery. Think outside the box, do something with your life, and just instead of sitting around being status quo, just going along with what's being presented to you, because you can't control your own life and your destiny, where you're going and all that. And I believe if you surround yourself with the kind of people that have the mind that you have, or the mind that you need to get where you need to be, then you can get there. But if you allow yourself to be stuck around situations, people, and things that's not good for your mental health, not good for your physical health, your well-being, any of those things, you're going to be stuck there for a long time. So till next time, I'm going to say peace. I appreciate you guys checking me out. And also check out Dr. Charles Stanley. I noticed when I put a post up of a sermon of his, nobody really respond to it. That's up to you. But if you're seeing something that you like that's going on in this cooperation with the GSM and Greg, your go-to guy, and the Real Talk and all that kind of stuff, and things are prospering, right? And you see something in that, you being a witness to that, and you want to know how it's being done. Well, that's how it's being done. Till next time, guys. Peace.